All right, game changers. I'm extremely excited. You guys have seen the emails, the Facebook messages, the passion behind this call, because I've just seen what this information can do for people's results, people's peace of mind, people's businesses, people's relationships. And this is stuff that I haven't shared that I've been doing that is in a lot of masterminds that I talk about with some of my high level friends and people that really I know in the last couple of years that have been challenging me to get to the next level as well. But I wanted to bring you guys everything. You guys are super dedicated. You guys are seeing huge results in your business. So I wanted to bring you this information. So welcome everybody to really how to have an epic finish and a huge start to 2017. Now, we have some big announcements to share. And of course, there's going to be some real masterminding done with you guys. And I want you to really conceptualize and understand the real power of having a group of individuals as established and as hungry as you guys all in one group. The experience you guys have and the years you've put in to entrepreneurship, to sales, to leadership, to success is extraordinary. We have 22 and 23-year-olds making 200, 300, 400 grand a year. We have 30 and 40-year-olds making 600 grand a year. We have people that made no money when they first started. Now they're making six figures. It's amazing. And you guys have heard on the calls the success stories that we've had, and they're nothing short of extraordinary. And we want to keep that up. Less than 1% of entrepreneurs have a strong network that really challenges them to go to the next level. And remember, an opportunity is only an opportunity if it's taken full advantage of. And most people, honestly, don't take full advantage of opportunities, sadly. They're always looking for new information versus maximizing the old information that they haven't even executed on yet. And we've talked about that, but we're going to dive in. And the purpose of these calls, the purpose of the Millionaire Guest Speakers, as well as these mastermind calls, here's a couple of the things that I came up with years ago that me and my advisory board talk about every couple weeks that we want to make sure happen. First, they're to raise your standards for what you're expecting of yourself and your team. It's to raise what you expect you're worthy of and what you're capable of. Two, shift from just motivation and inspiration to actual habits and lifestyle. You see, at the next level of success, it doesn't matter if you're motivated or not, or if you're inspired. You don't wait for inspiration or motivation. You have such strong habits and such strong lifestyle that you don't need motivation. That's the next level of success. Also, to increase your income and influence, sharpen your perspective and mental toughness. Most importantly, hit your goals faster and more effectively than you ever have. So speed up your learning curve so you don't waste as much time, because time is life's most precious commodity, as all you guys know. And help you network, help you develop partnerships for years down the road. And my excitement too, this has already happened in the last 4 or 5 years. Meet people, connect with people that you have relationships and friendships with in the next 50 years. I want you to meet people, whether it's someone from Holland, someone from London, someone from Australia, someone from down the street that you meet on the academy. I want you to meet people that you're friends with 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And I want you to meet people that you develop partnerships with that you make an extra couple million in the next couple of years, okay? Remember, a smart person learns from their mistakes, as all successful people do. But those wanting exceptional results learn from other people's mistakes so they can cut their learning curve in half and not waste as much time making the same ones, all right? Quick reminder, there is a gold mine in the academy already, okay? All the information that's already in there is exceptional. So don't get caught up in always wanting more information without executing on what you previously learned. I've seen that not just kill progress, but ambition as well. So here's what we've had just in the last couple months. We've had the #1 podcast expert, John Lee Dumas, give you guys massive value and really give you guys a deep dive look into his business. He's making 200 to 400 grand a month, only working a couple days a week. Think about this logically. He's making 200 to 400 grand a month, only working a couple days, traveling the world. Founder of the Huffington Post, Ariana Huffington. Real estate expert, Cole Hatter. Peak performance and mental toughness expert, Tim Grover. He was Michael Jordan's trainer. That's a call that you want to master. Lewis Howes came on, how to build an online empire. Chris Ducker talked about outsourcing, and he was the author of The Virtual Freedom, who really is the best at hiring a virtual team and setting things up properly and how to train, how to hire, how to create systems. Brian Tracy about writing books and creating courses and how to get market feedback and how to market based on what your audience needs. That's just some of the stuff that's happened in the last couple months. We've also had mastermind calls focused on the 8 must to 8 figures, how to get the 7 figures quicker than normal. The 8 new age millionaire traits and how to master marketing, right? How to position yourself as a leading authority in engineering your own celebrity. Now, here's what's cool. A lot of you guys have already been doing some of these things. I can see it in your marketing and your Facebook and your results. So I'm excited about you guys to continue to execute what we're learning. And then, of course, there's a lot of stuff on mental toughness and how to have a bulletproof mindset as well. Okay? So remember, I want to challenge you. Don't be the entrepreneur that just keeps wanting new things without executing. It's the grass is greener mentality, and I've seen it kill people's success. So I have some mindset shifts and perspective shifts and some reminders. These are things that I always remind myself every couple weeks. They're in my journal. They're on a note card, because sometimes it's reinforcing the things that you know that you forget. Sometimes you forget the fundamentals that keep your success going, all right? So this is why at the beginning of the academy, we talked about dealing with problems and addressing problems head on. If you have any issues bugging you, broken relationships you haven't fixed or got rid of, or anything that's a problem not solved, it's going to eat away at you, and it's going to not let you be fully effective. So that's why you got to deal with your issues right away, so you can be operating at a world-class level all the time. So here's some reminders, okay? First, every limitation you have right now in your head is created by your past or by those around you. Nothing else. Your past, those around you. And the only real limitations are those you've created yourself. So if you want to, if I said, hey, are you going to make $2 million a month pretty soon? If you're thinking that's like, there's no way, that's crazy. Limitations. I was at someone's house 3-4 weeks ago that's making $4 million a month. You guys know his name. I'm not going to say his name. $4 million a month on his terms, right? So be careful about the limitations that you set and that you have in your head. It's not the hours you work, but the work you put in those hours. It's not about harder or smarter anymore. It's about working right, with the right leverage, with the right systems, with the right people, the right team, the right marketing, the right positioning, the right messaging. If you have all those dialing in at once, it's not about harder or smarter. It's about right. Now, I'm not saying don't work hard. I hustle extremely hard. And that's the missing piece that most people don't have, is they try to do the working right and the working smart without the hustle. Not going to work. Got to put the hustle in first. There are people right now with busier schedules than you. They're busier than you. They have 3, 4, 5 kids. They're running a couple businesses, but they're getting more done than you are. So you have to tell yourself right now, there's people that have more on their plate that are getting more done, that have more peace of mind and less stress. Okay? I have to remind myself of this too. I mean, Steve Jobs ran Pixar and Apple at the same time. Think about that. Another reminder, this is a big one. Comparison is the root of all misery. Okay, comparison kills ambition and progress. So from this moment forward, and I've already told you guys this, but this is stuff that I'm talking to myself too. I have to remind myself. From this moment forward, don't compare yourself to anybody except you, except your last report, your last week results, your last year results, okay? And then, of course, never letting a mediocre mind affect yours. You choose what you let affect you. Never let anything affect you. When I had a sales team of a couple hundred people, I had 15 employees. If people didn't follow through, if someone made an excuse, I would take everything personal. I would get so invested in people. Then I realized it's not fair to let their lack of discipline affect my state of mind. As a leader, people are gonna let you down, no matter what, regardless of how good of leader you are. You're gonna be let down constantly, but you have to make sure you keep your mindset bulletproof and your state of mind top notch. And then make sure in your business, everything you do is documented and duplicated. Once we finish the call, you're gonna be fired up to take action. But more importantly than you being fired up to take action, you wanna schedule a call with your team if you have a team, and you wanna teach them some of this stuff. Some of you guys might have someone on your team on the call. I said you can invite somebody. You're very lucky, and you want to thank the person who invited you 100 times, because the information you're going to get will be a game changer for you. This is not information that I think is going to help. It's stuff that's helped me not just add a couple million to the bottom line, but peace of mind, relationships, networking, reach, revenue, all kinds of stuff, okay? So those are the reminders. And a lot of people try to move forward without making sure they're in a perfect state of mind and they've got rid of all their issues and they're operating at a level where there's no distractions, okay? So here's the deal. Today is November 29th. There's like 31 days left in the year. So I want to give you a bulletproof plan for the next 31 days, 31, 32, to make sure that, now it doesn't mean you're working every day. Just want to make sure you're predicting exactly what's going to happen and building momentum. Most people think that December or think that January and think that 2017 starts January 1st. Biggest mistake you could ever make is thinking the new year starts January 1st. Those people are in for a rough ride and they're playing catch up all year. All right, we're going to do a 30-day challenge, but here's the deal. How you treat December is how your entire 2017 goes. And for normal society, 2017 starts January, February, but for game changers, it actually started last month, right? So there's two types of holiday seasons you can have. There's the one you want and the one you don't want. And most people have the holiday they don't want. Maybe they enjoy family, but their business still isn't rock solid. Their income's not rock solid. They can't buy whatever they want for their family. They can't take a 2-month vacation in February. They still don't have the full autonomy and freedom. And that's why I want to talk about this, right? So how to finish big. And we're going to open it up for some discussion too, but how to finish big. It's always the last leg of the race that determines the victory, whether you're going all in past the finish line or you're hobbling across the finish line. So what separates the winners from the losers in entrepreneurship? It's always the final stretch. It's always the final shots. Think about the NFL. Last 2 minutes of each half is the most points scored. This is a fact, by the way. Okay, NFL. MLB, the 9th inning is usually the strongest. In retail, listen to this. E-commerce and retail online, 25 to 45% of all sales for that company happen in the last 45 days of the year, from Black Friday on. Think about that. Most of their sales are the last 45 days of the year into the new year. That's when most people rest up, right? So the race is won or lost in the final push. And during that push, you want to focus on one thing, and that's breaking the tape as strong as you can, all right? You want to win before the game even begins, doing the exact opposite of most people. And I'm definitely an anti-conformist, you guys know this, but I'm actually going to do the opposite. This is just a killer strategy in itself, is to do the opposite of most people, right? What do most people read? What do most people watch? Where do they go? What do they do in December? What do they talk about? Life becomes so much more convenient when you do the opposite. So be unorthodox in December. Never travel when most people travel. Don't travel Sundays. Don't shop when everyone else shops. Don't eat out on Friday, Saturday. Don't go to Costco Saturday morning to get gas. Don't work out when others do. Just being unorthodox and just treating yourself like a real, true entrepreneur and doing the opposite of society will save you hundreds of hours the next couple months in the next year. What do most people do in September or December? Think about it logically. What do most people do in December? I just talked to Kirk over email. He sent me his goals. And he said the last couple years, honestly, December's been more of a chill month. I relax with family. He goes, now I'm ramping it up because I have a team to inspire. And it's the best thing he could have done, he said. Now, don't do this now, but I'm going to tell you what to do afterwards. And you want to put some focused time into this, all right? Something happens when you write things down on paper. Get everything out of your head and clear your mind. Then it's time to prioritize. Here's what you're going to prioritize, okay? 1, things you can't control that you should forget about, things you can't change. So sometimes it's scary, but sometimes we let the things that we can't control bug us and affect our peace of mind or state of mind. Block those out, get rid of them, okay? 2, what can you delegate or delete? So I do this probably every 60 days, 30 to 60 days. So what shouldn't you be doing, right? What don't you like doing or you shouldn't be doing that you can delegate to an assistant, a virtual assistant, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Or maybe it's not important and you delete it. Next, what should you put in your schedule to do later? This is huge because a lot of times you let things fester and it's still on your mind. So it clouds your judgment and it frustrates you. Literally write down, okay, on December 6th for 2 hours, I'm going to get this done. I'm writing it down. Now it's out of your head. So if you have 7 things that you have to take action on, instead of letting it all hit in your head, you put them into a schedule time and then you commit to doing it that time. Then it's out of your head. Lastly, what action are you going to take right away? Like what needs to get done right away? So write everything down and prioritize. So what this means is write everything out of your head. And here's the 4 things you want to do with the things that you have written down. First is things you can't control that you should forget about. A lot of times things that you actually have no control over changing still bug you and frustrate you. So the key here, guys, is to forget about it if you can't control it. Second thing is, now don't do this now, but write these things down. I do this every 30 to 60 days, and it's such a game changer for my productivity and for my mindset. So what you can delete and delegate is next. So what that means is anything that you shouldn't be doing that you could have an assistant do, a virtual assistant, a husband or wife, a friend, someone from Fiverr, things that aren't high level for you, that you either need to delegate to somebody or you need to totally delete them because they're not relevant to you or your business. So that's the next thing. So you have this huge list of things. And when I say write down everything, I mean everything on your mind, what's bugging you business-wise, actions you have to take, goals you have, family time. Write down everything, okay? So things you can't control that you should forget about, what to delegate or delete, what you need to put in your schedule to do later. This is huge. So if there's anything that's been festering that you need to take action on, put the date like, okay, December 6th for 2 hours, I'm going to get done this. Now that it's in your schedule, you can forget about it and you don't have to worry about it because you know you're getting it done in a week. So there should be 5 or 6 things that you want to get done. And here's the deal. A lot of people let that fester on their mind and they don't put them in an actual time slot and time block it. And they're not effective doing anything else because they have all these things in their head. Don't focus on all the stuff you have to do. Focus on the end result and what you want, right? So what do you need to put in your schedule to do later? I've went from the most overwhelmed I've ever been in my life, and my mentor Jordan Weirs taught me this years ago, to writing everything down, to delegating, deleting, to prioritizing, and I feel the best I've ever felt. So this has to be done in the next day or 2 for you guys. So schedule out everything that you can't change and what you want to take action on. And then the last thing, guys, is what you must take action on right away that you know is a high value, high leverage, or high dollar task. And after you have everything organized, that you put everything into your schedule, this will refocus your mind to what truly matters, and you're going to start building momentum in the right direction. When you clear your mind, it's easier to make decisions. All right? So I want you to now think about 5 potential distractions, 3 to 5, that you might encounter during your final stretch, during your 30-day challenge. You want to create a prevention plan for each. But here's things that frustrate people in the final stretch based on a lot of surveying and conversations. Holiday parties, unmotivated friends, weather, maybe it's a mood or a mindset thing, being involved in too much or saying yes too much. Winning only requires a little bit more. And if you can write down 2 or 3 things that you know are going to frustrate you that you can prevent, or you can either admit that they're going to unmotivate you, but to be focused when you're there and to have a plan to get back focused when you're done, that's the game changer. So think about right now, what are some distractions that you might encounter in the last 30 days? Because 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs that I talk to in December, they're not in peak performance state like they should be going into the new year. And their January is not as big as they think it is, or that they want it to be. So what are some distractions? Think about those. And then think about 2 or 3 things or areas that you know you could be doing a little bit more right now in your life. 2 or 3 areas you could be displaying a little more discipline. Maybe it's with your team. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's real value. Are you in the best state of mind humanly possible when you're creating content for your audience? I don't put nothing out unless I'm in a peak state of mind and I know it's the best possible stuff. I used to put anything out. Now I make sure because I owe it to the people I impact. So now you know what could mess up your momentum or could frustrate you and hold up some of your progress in the new year. Now we want to prioritize for profitability. Okay, profits, people, leveraging your most important potential, maybe it's clients, business, marketing, whatever, for your final stretch. Reprioritizing your prospecting list. Here's my challenge to you, and I'm going to help you. Make this the most profitable and the best 30 days you've ever had, but not doing it with the hours you work, but using your intelligence, using systems, using leverage, using this information, and using you thoroughly thinking things through more than you ever have. Okay? How will your experiences be? I'm not telling you to work through the holidays. I'm actually going to teach you how to be more present than you've ever been with your family, but also be more present than you've ever been with your business. So how is your health going to be? How have you recently felt during holidays, health-wise, Thanksgiving-wise? Were you disciplined for Thanksgiving? I'm telling you, I don't care if you're already making millions. The new age game changer is a world-class human being. They're not just fired up about business. They're not just amazing dads. They're world-class human beings in every area. If you want influence at the highest level from any millennials the next 10 or 20 years, you got to be world-class at every level. You got to be operating at a world-class health, world-class focus, world-class message, marketing, world-class profitability and finances, right? What feelings do you want to experience in the next 30 days? So all you're going to do is simplify to your top 3 goals. They can be bigger and we're going to break them down, but what are your top 3 focuses for the next 30 days? That's it. What are the 3 things you want to happen to where when these things happened, you're going to be extremely excited, fulfilled, and pumped that these happened, and it's right before the new year. Because if you take care of December, January takes care of itself. So once you get your top 3, then it's your strongest reasons. We've talked about this a lot, so I'm not going to go deep into this. What reasons do you want? What are your compelling reasons that are going to drive you to take action on those 3 things? By the way, my boy, the 14-year-old phenom, he might even be on this call, Caleb Maddox, who's on track to make 7 figures next year. He's going to make a medium 6 figures this year. He's 14 years old. He wrote a book in a night. People take 6 months, 2 years. They still haven't. He wrote a book in one night. Had a team, had his assistant and someone else help him. But I'm just trying to get you to think different. He's 14 and he wrote a book in a night. So you won't believe what's humanly possible if you really focus and expect it from yourself. All right, what feelings do you want inside you that you want to experience the last day of the year? I'll tell you, I can't describe it because it's in me, but December 31st, January 1st, the last couple of years have been the most exciting that I've ever had as far as feeling passionate, ambitious, excited, eager, right? Because I've put the work in December. Not the work hour-wise, not 100 hours a week. I've put the strategy and the intelligence behind the hours. So what feelings do you want to experience at the end of the year? Once again, we don't have time for you guys to write everything down right now, like all your feelings, but just write down what am I going to experience feeling-wise, and then after the call, put a half hour in your schedule to go through this because it's worth it. All right, now we're going to get detailed. Here's what I want you to do. You're also going to write down all your workouts for the end of the year. Literally, you're going to figure out when you're working out. Now, if your schedule's crazy like mine, just have standards. You don't need to pick exact dates and time. Just have standards. 5 days a week, no matter what. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, which a lot of you guys do, I don't care what hotel I'm at, where I am in the world, whether I'm in Dubai, Australia, whether I'm in Big Bear, whether I'm in Oregon, whether I'm in New York City, I get my workouts in. Why? Because I said I would. I promised to myself. When you keep promises to yourself, your self-esteem and your confidence goes up. So write down all your workouts for the end of the year. If you're like, workouts, I don't even do that. What are you doing? What's more important than health? If you really want to know how important health is, ask someone who doesn't have it. Then you'll figure out how important health is. Now, you don't have to work out and pump iron, right? You don't have to go do weights. Just walk around the block. Just start small and continue to progress. Think about how good it's going to feel while most people overeat in December. You actually eat healthier than you ever ate. How much better that's going to feel when most people are like, oh man, I got to take a nap. You're like, I just closed 4 more deals and I was up at 6 a.m. fired up, excited, and passionate. Big difference. Next, write out when you're going to be with family. This is a big one. The people that I've seen, guys, that don't think through everything, they're just like off the cuff all the time. They're the ones that are with their family thinking about work. They're at work thinking about family. They don't have family time planned out. They're like, oh, I need to work. And they're so jumbled, they can't fully think clearly and be present. And this was me a couple years ago, to be honest. But I've luckily had mentors kind of shake me in place and say, what are you doing? And I had to kind of shift my perspective, right? So write out, like, when are you going to be with family 3 days before Christmas until like the 27th? Are you going to be with family just 2 days? Figure out when you're going to be with family. So you got your workouts, you got when you're going to be with family. Number 3, things you can't change business-wise. What are things you can't change business-wise? So write down things that you already have in your schedule. One of them is this conference call, right? Next month we have another conference call, we have another mastermind call, and we have a millionaire guest speaker, John Assaraf, who's an absolute monster business-wise. And your job's to bring him questions that are going to help your business and your life go to the next level, right? And John's built 5 multi-million-dollar companies, including growing Remax of Indiana. I have this on the schedule, to 1,500 salespeople and 4.5 billion in sales a year. I'm going to work out. I'm going to listen to my favorite song that pumps me up. You need to have 5 or 6 things that's a routine that you can do to get yourself back in the zone whenever you need to in December. Now, I always ask myself 2 questions after every event, every speaking engagement, every call. I'll ask it after this call. These are magic questions that have changed my life that would change yours. What did I do right? What could I do better? What did I do right? What could I do better? After every client meeting, after every call, every video you shoot, what did I do well? What can I do better? Ask that after every single event in December, starting now. How many people don't do this, guys? There's no reason in 2017 you should ever have two bad weeks in a row, because you're preparing so much every week and taking your last experience and your past experience successes and you're investing them into your future preparation. You should never have 2 bad weeks. You guys all know the Michael Jordan story I've told a ton of times. He averaged 30 points a year his whole career. Any game he was below 15, 20 points. Any game he was below, I think it was 15 points. His next game, he averaged over 40, which means he never had 2 bad games in his entire career. Is that by accident? No, when he had a bad game, it consumed him. He was obsessed with figuring out why and making sure it never happened again. That's the mentality you have to take into 2017, okay? You had a shitty November, so what? Invest everything that went wrong and right and put it into December preparation so January is exceptional, okay? So next, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. Non-negotiables of business. Okay, for me, I'm focused on reaching more people. I'm focused on deepening and strengthening relationships, and then, of course, revenue. Right? So for you, what are your non-negotiables business-wise that have to happen? Usually the thing that scares you the most, that you're like, I don't want to do it, that's going to have the biggest upside for you, right? So what non-negotiables in business do you have to put in your schedule the next 30 days? And consider there are only 3 ways to grow your business, right? You can increase the number of clients, you can increase the average sale price, you can increase the number of times they buy in a month or in a year. And most people, 80 to 90%, focus on increasing the number of clients. And a lot of times it's not as effective and it's not as profitable. So what can you do to increase the other 2 methods, right? So there's a lot of things business-wise you can do. Deliver higher levels of customer service, increase your conversion rate, add more value, be on more platforms, leverage other people's influence by creating win-win situations, acquire clients up front for break even and make profit on the back end, introduce other people's products to your list, special events, packaging services together, increasing average transactions, upsells, downsells. I mean, there's, more than I do how to improve your business, right? But your goal is to ask yourself, what don't I know that is critical to my success for the next 30 days? What's the missing link? So that's it for right now. Appreciate you guys for being part of the Academy, and more than that, just being game changers, because the need for leadership right now, I'll tell you, it's going up minute by minute. Like the need for what you guys do, whether it's impacting someone, leading by example, showing people what's possible, helping a student see past the corporate focus or past just going to college, getting a job, is needed more than it ever has been with you guys. So continue to think and act like a game changer. And more importantly, make sure that you're operating at a world-class level at every angle, not just finances, not just parenthood, not just health, but every angle. And if you can do that, I want you guys to be able to look in the mirror when you're 70, 80, 90, look yourself dead in the mirror and say, you know, I have zero regrets. Like zero. I did it my way. I built an amazing legacy. I built amazing relationships, and I have no regrets. And I'm super excited about the life that I built, that I'm going to leave a legacy for those around me. That's what you want. So make sure you're strategic and intentional in every move. And once again, you guys already know, but I appreciate you guys sincerely. And I'm excited for where this Academy is going and where you guys are going in the next 6 months to 2-3 years. And I appreciate you guys watching and getting value. We don't usually do the calls on YouTube, but I wanted to give you guys some value, and I'm excited to see what you guys execute on from the call. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you're not on the Academy, I would definitely apply at gamechangersmovement.com/apply. But I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.